Son of a... One of these days, I'll beat you, Zapdos. You hear me? I will beat you! Oh, man. I just spent so much time on this game. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Wait, why the hell's everything set up at... Ah, crap! Dante's Inferno review! Hurry. Hi! Hello and welcome to the Smartest Moron, where I totally wasn't playing Pokemon Shuffle. I don't even know what Pokemon is. I don't even own any Nintendo products. Like I said, no Nintendo products here. Okay, fine, I do own a freaking Wii U and I do own a 3DS. What do you want from me? I'm only human. Wish the characters in this game were more human, then maybe they'd be likable. No, wait, maybe human isn't the right word. How about not stupid? Anyway, Dante's Inferno review. Now imagine the epic poem that's talked about a lot and still discussed in colleges. I should know, I was forced to read it, yet still can barely remember a single damn thing about it. And adapt that into a video game, but just add blood, gore, and tits, and take a dump all over the source material. Yes, you should be very afraid.
Now, to Visceral Games' credit, they do have a decent track record with some games, such as with the Dead Space series, but EA has made bad decisions left and right. I think we can all recall their little war on used games among other bad decisions. Intent. Unfortunately, I couldn't find much about the development of the game. Even more unfortunate was other information I found regarding movies, outside of the dumb animated movie, of course, but that kind of research is mostly pointless for this game. Luckily, my friends were able to point me to some of the dumbest marketing gimmicks I have ever seen. The idea was to incorporate the names of the hells, which are basically sins, and try to tie them together creatively with the ads. To save time, I won't mention every single one of them, but suffice to say, some were decent and harmless, but others were... dumber. For instance, anger involved sending this box that never played Never Gonna Give You Up or something to certain critics, especially Yahtzee for 0 punctuation. The only way to stop it was to smash it open. If nothing else, it's funny to those of us that hear about it. Then we cut the brakes on the laughter and dive straight into the stupid. Back in June, there was a protest for the game that EA staged themselves, which actual news outlets reported that this was a real thing happening. Needless to say, this earned a lot of backlash from those who had religious faith as well as the news stations too. Lust probably is the dumbest one of all. You see, there was a contest called Sin to Win, which basically told people to, and I quote, commit acts of lust by taking pictures with women by the booths. Now people can take this the wrong way. Any booth woman could be harassed very easily, especially when the contest states to commit acts of lust, even if it is just a picture. This basically painted EA as objectifiers of women, only further enhanced with Beatrice in this game, as you'll soon see. Needless to say, EA had to do so much apologizing after these stupid marketing stunts. So what was the point with all this tasteless advertising? Getting as much attention as possible, since I think they knew Dante's Inferno wasn't going to do well when it stood on its own, especially when everyone would compare this to God of War. Let's face it, if your game can't stand on its own, this is one of the only alternatives to make decent sales.
Now that I have the cat under my control, we can finally begin Dante's Inferno. It won't be pleasant in the slightest.
At its core, Dante's Inferno is a hack-and-slash game, pretty much like God of War, but much more flawed. And when I say like God of War, I mean straight up copy and pasted, even if you are mostly just exploring hell. Puzzles feel exactly the same, combat feels exactly the same, mostly, chests are now just fountains, plenty of quick-time events, and even the gore and finishing moves feel the same. It does try to differentiate itself from God of War, but it takes massive steps backwards. The first is the upgrade system, which there are two ways to do so. You gather souls, which are gained by defeating enemies and other methods. However, in order to use them, you need to fill up the punish and absolve meters, which in turn also increase your standard attack power. By executing finishers, it can be increased, so you guess what you'll be ending up doing to a lot of enemies 24/7. This can quickly make combat boring and far too easy barring some enemies. Also, the punish and absolve meter fools you into thinking that maybe there's a morality system and you might get a different ending.
No such thing here. Dante is just a prick. I'll explain why later.
Then there's the cross, the long-range attack, and Catholic Hadoken. Usually games have these kind of attacks be weaker or have a certain number of times they can be used, and not here, meaning for a good majority of the game, barring one certain enemy and the final boss last form, you can chip away at enemies from afar with practically no penalties. The only reason I don't use it at times is because I'm so accustomed to using close-range combat and not abusing such a powerful skill. And when enemies are mostly just close-range fighters, it quickly becomes apparent the balance is broken. Finally, the upgrades I mentioned before, a good majority of them are worthless since achieving a high combo is meaningless. In God of War, you could get more red orbs, and here, nothing at all, so gaining new moves outside of increasing the cross combo are worthless. Passives are the way to go, as well as an invincibility spell that can also restore your health. With that spell in the cross, there's not even any reason to use the other spells. There are also the relics to further ease difficulty a bit, with some effects activating benefits like a boost in attack power, recovering your magic meter, etc. We really come across more as hacks, and combined with everything I just said, really just further help break the game. Still, one of the decent things it gets right are mountain monsters. You tend to ride them throughout some parts of the game, and for what they are, they feel okay to control. Still, there's really not much for me to say, but you never really try to kill these guys. There's one moment where you get to control Phlegius, this giant monster that easily towers over the other creatures.
Say, do you want to know what happens next in this Godzilla simulator? Take it away, Dr. Cox.
Nothing.
You march about a bit, stomp once on the floor, and level over. Well, there went all the fun I did have in this game. Thank you, Dante's Inferno! Extras are bare. You have a new game plus if you want to subject yourself to more of this. There are also multiple difficulties, and oddly enough, easy mode is incredibly, well, easy. There's also the Pointless Gates of Hell, which is 50 levels of battles on a time limit, and you can keep extending that time by absolving foes using the absolve finish. Again, way to take the challenge out of everything. There's really nothing else, since all the stuff you would usually want to hunt down is now an upgrade you have to pay for, and a lot of the other upgrades are useless. The fun of finding hidden stuff like the coins to gain more souls is weak at best, leaving the level design mostly linear barring finding more relics or souls occasionally. There's also DLC, which is pretty much pointless if you hate the game like I do. Trust me, it ain't gonna suddenly make things better, so let's just move on.
What more can you take from me?
Is that a dare?
What more?
It's up to you to find out.
Our story starts off with Dante attaching this tapestry to his body for some odd reason. This apparently takes place after he obtains his weapon, the scythe, and before I go any further, I have to talk about this design. It's hideous! Why the hell does Dante have those damn straps? And why the hell does he actually do this to himself? Due to events in the game, it can't be because of his faith. All a demon has to do is rip at it, and he'll be in a ton of pain. And yes, that tapestry, it actually plays a key role for Dante's backstory. Just saying, the animated version honestly did this better, as the main villain was the one who did it to him. The game takes place during the Crusade era. For those who aren't aware of what those are, basically in 1095, military campaigns were held with the intent of regaining their Holy Land. Our protagonist is one such soldier, listening to the lies of an obviously evil holy man that his sins can be cleansed so long as he keeps fighting in the name of the Crusades by killing so-called heretics. This is basically the tutorial level, and a weaker form of Dynasty Warriors. Don't be surprised if you start earning achievements right off the bat either. However, just as he manages to finish off a group of them, an assassin manages to stab him in the spine, apparently killing him. Thus ended the journey of Dante Allegro. Oh, I wish. Rather, the Grim Reaper comes for his soul, so now may begin Dante's journey into hell, right? Nah, the two argue before Dante manages to fight back. Well, he is fighting the Grim Reaper himself, and I highly doubt that a mere soldier of the Crusade is just going to...
Wait. Just stop. Just stop for a minute here. You mean to tell me the Grim Reaper's dead on level 1? You wasted one of the most badass freaking characters. Do you know how many freaking bosses, boss fights and summons are made with the Grim freaking Reaper? You don't just do this to the guy. Although, technically, I'm the one who killed the Grim Reaper. Oh my god, guys. Do you know what this means? I'm the one who helped cancel Billy and Mandy! Oh god, what have I done? I'm a monster! What have I... But seriously though, what?
Yeah, Dante apparently kills the Grim Reaper, but only after he steals his scythe. Not only that, but the Grim Reaper begs not to die. Dante makes the Grim Reaper beg. Are you serious with this?
You. No, please don't.
Even the Grim Reaper in Castlevania Judgment was better than this. And yeah, I'll review that game eventually. Keep in mind, in other forms of media, it usually takes people with strong weapons or powers, like, say, the Vampire Killer, in order to put down beings of similar powers. Dante lacks any kind of power, so how he is able to affect the Grim Reaper in combat is just baffling. Anyway, back on track after that rant. So, after Dante kills the Grim Reaper...
And I know what you're thinking. Surely this will cause like some kind of turmoil on Earth. I mean, after all, there's no Grim Reaper to collect the souls of the dead. Surely they may rise up like zombies and terrorize the land. Well, you get a gold star for thinking that, because, you know, the story writers didn't think of that.
He returns home only to find both his father and his lover Beatrice murdered. And Beatrice is given no dignity even in death. Yeah, this is the first of many boob shots throughout the entire game. She will be victimized through it almost like every female damsel in distress. I say almost because when Dante goes to the church to meet with her spirit, she is making sexual moans, and considering some mysterious man is taking her away, you can put two and two together. Class act.
But who is this mysterious being? I mean, surely it's someone from Dante's past. I mean, for a game like this, you really need a strong villain that can really connect to the character. And it's Lucifer. Of course it's freaking Lucifer. And the connection... Well, what do you expect the connection would be? Just... Well, surely Lucifer's interesting, right?
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Anyway, yeah, Lucifer, the devil himself, ends up taking the lover of Dante, and he has to save her. With the aid of Virgil, who only really just tells you about each of the levels of hell and nothing more aside from maybe tossing you a relic or two, Dante must traverse each of the hells in the hope of finding Beatrice and returning her home. To be fair, there are a few twists and turns in the plot that do not make me really support Dante's character at all. Things like the flashbacks and such deal with Dante's sins that he's made in the past and tries to justify his behavior, but fails at the same time. While the Crusader thing is part of Dante's backstory, it is never brought up again in the sense that he never even meets the people who steered him in the wrong way, which could have made for an interesting scene. Rather, the game tries to justify why he is so sinful, yet does it so poorly, while Beatrice remains completely uninteresting and is just victimized it through it all. You know, when the game isn't showing us her tits. Combine that with even more uninteresting characters and even more plot points I'm about to tear apart, it is not interesting in the slightest. And part of the reason for Beatrice simply not being a strong character isn't just because she's a damsel. Ignoring the spoilers I'm about to dig into, there's simply not enough information about her. We, as the player, know next to nothing about her aside from a romance with Dante and that she has a brother. She has less of a personality than a Michael Bay character.
Beatrice, don't do this.
Because of you, I must.
I would never do anything to cause this.
Oh, but you did cause this.
For this, we'll focus solely on Dante and Beatrice, because Lucifer has nothing really to give him a character beyond just being evil, and something stupid with Beatrice I'll soon mention. I hate Dante, but as I thought more about the character and the plot points present, the less sense everything makes. In the game, Dante meets up with spirits from his past, with Beatrice's brother and his own father being the only two to attack him. As I stated before, even people like those get more of an understandable backstory than Beatrice, but their main role is to help develop Dante and provide an excuse for what he did, which is cheat on Beatrice and cause this mess in the first place, as well as slaughtering many people. In fact, Dante is kind of described as a sinful bastard, even going so far as to fight for the Crusades just to keep abusing the power of his sins being cleansed, another reason why he cheated on Beatrice. The reason for his apparently hard nature is because his mother killed herself, and his father gave him the influence of being a bastard, yet if this is true, why even hook up with Beatrice at all, let alone make the vow? They seem close enough not to do such things, so was it a moment of weakness? Even then, some decisions still don't add up. In fact, we see in one scene that Dante's father is allowed to live with them, and even tries to take advantage of Beatrice when Dante is presumed dead. Do you see how these plot elements don't mix well together? Especially when Dante keeps claiming how faithful he is, yet does the direct opposite until Beatrice's soul is stolen, and only admits he does wrong when the devil flat out spells it out for him when he somehow forgets all of it. And him forgetting is quite possibly the worst thing he could have done. Confusing the audience is not a good way to gain sympathy for your character, especially when he constantly makes so many damn mistakes. As such, these excuses, they don't really hold up. A solution to this could have maybe, added a morality system, but since the absolve and punish thing is treated merely like an upgrade system, especially using souls of other people, it doesn't really paint Dante in a favorable light as a hero per se. This isn't helped when there is absolutely no interaction between Dante and the celebrity souls, as he either stabs them in the face or absolves them of their sins. With the way everything is designed, it makes me feel like Dante cares more about becoming stronger over actually helping wrongly judged souls in hell. Another good idea to differentiate itself from God of War would have been to utilize puzzles and combine them with morality, giving the player the option to either take the easy way out and let souls die just so they can move on for the rest of the game, or take the time to help the souls trapped, both offering different rewards and determining the kind of ending one could get. Sadly, the game doesn't take advantage of that idea. The game clearly wants to portray Dante in some heroic light as he is fighting Lucifer, the ultimate evil, and trying to save Beatrice, but you can't have it both ways like this, especially when Dante tries to get out of hell and into heaven. Probably could have had him end the game by being the guardian of Lucifer's prison as his redemption. Even with all the negatives though, the character at least does acknowledge what he did was wrong eventually once Beatrice turns evil, willing to stay in hell but at least make sure she goes to heaven. He has one good moment where he breaks down and admits it at last, but it's ruined during this scene.
I am truly sorry for what I have done. May you one day forgive me.
My cross.
Beatrice.
And then an angel just magically solves everything because... rushed plot.
For your role in the ongoing battle is more important than you can possibly imagine.
I don't understand.
Neither do I, and I played through the entire game. Seriously, what the hell was that about? Why the hell couldn't an angel, just go into hell themselves and just, free Beatrice? As a matter of fact, DLC, there's actually an angelic character that can, you can actually play as, so why the hell am I not playing as her? Her story sounds a hell of a lot more interesting than this prick. As a matter of fact, what the hell is Beatrice seeing this goddamn prick in the freaking first place? Seriously, what do I have to do to just, make this story enjoyable to me? Nothing is enjoyable. The characters suck. The narrative sucks. Everything sucks. And why the hell are demon babies in freaking limbo when in reality, that's not exactly how it freaking works. Well, based off the, the poem, but at the same time, you're using the poem as a freaking source material. Nothing makes freaking sense. Why does Cleopatra have freaking, nipples with freaking tongues? And why the hell do little baby demons come out in the freaking lust level? That is fucking creepy and freaking wrong. Nothing makes sense to me. Freaking tell me something that makes sense to me in this game. Tell me why I'm so freaking crazy. Tell me why. Hello and welcome back to The Smartest Moron, where I've taken my happy pills and hopefully these things will help keep me calm and relaxed as I try and review the rest of this game, because, with stress of life lately, this game is just the little cherry that's pissing me off. But happy pills, yay! So let's talk about Beatrice and... oh dear God, Beatrice. You failed me, happy pills.
Beatrice isn't a character, she's a plot device. I know more about every other character in this game, no matter how minor, more than Beatrice, and that's what really harms her in the end for me. As such, when I'm asked to save her, and given all of Dante's sins, I have to ask what in the hell she sees in him. Hell, she willingly turned evil after all the crap Dante put her through by making her Lucifer's new bride. However, that would have just made her bland and really nothing else. No, what really kills her character, aside from barely having anything to do within this game, or even expand on her besides from nudity, is that she made a deal with the devil. Oh, did I forget to mention that? She, someone who follows God, rather than plead to our Lord when angels clearly exist, made a deal with the devil, which got her into this mess to begin with. And as I stated before, God must exist since there are angels in the world and Lucifer was put down to hell, so... what the hell? And now it's time for the top 5 reasons this plot point is very stupid. Let's count them down. Number 1. He's the devil! He is a liar, manipulator, and a demon to top it all too! The very demon who tried to go against God! Why would you trust a single thing he said? Number 2, what the hell is that deal with the vow then with Dante? It served absolutely no purpose if you were just gonna make this deal. In fact, aren't you loyal to God? Why not go to him for help or one of the angels? Lord knows one went to hell to save your ass. Number 3, come to think of it, if she is an ancient of the divine, given, how the cross is all magical and crap, why allow Dante and Francesco, her brother, to be part of the Crusades to begin with? The game makes it clear anyone a part of the Crusades is sent to hell, so shouldn't she know better and probably tell them, oh, by the way, you two shouldn't be doing this because it's wrong and horrible and you'll end up as Lucifer's personal bitch. Number 4, why only Dante's safety as part of the bet? I can understand if maybe in a moment of desperation after Dante was murdered, she would maybe want to make a deal to bring him back to life, but really? Just safety? And again, devil.
And last but not least comes the most important part of all. And I'm going to need you guys to pay attention to this because the writers apparently didn't. So let me just get this out in the open. And that is the fact that he is the devil. Devil. Lucifer, Satan, devil. Whatever other names you want to call him. Fallen angel, the morning star, devil. He is still an evil demon. Fallen angel, yes, but he's now a freaking demon. Do you get it yet? Do I have to beat it into your head?
Do you see the problems outlined here? This is not helped when in the poem, Beatrice was the one to help save Dante, not the other way around. Admittedly, no fighting was done, but then again, the game included battles and look at the hard results. Had the narrative just kept to a story regarding only redemption and Dante overcoming his sins and changing for the better, honestly, it would have been improved so much. At least in a game about redemption, you wouldn't really need the likes of the Grim Reaper or Lucifer standing in as actual enemies, and give more focus on character development. And with one stupid thing after another taking a dump on the source material, and giving quite possibly the most cliche story in the book without anything interesting to grab the player, this story is just sad and pathetic. Now look, I know not every game has to offer some kind of lesson and such, but this isn't even entertaining. Hell, trying to adapt this into a video game is a challenge, yes, but to go for the lowest common denominator with blood, gore, and tits is just a waste of time for both the writers and the players.
They call me Farinata, the Great-Hearted. No! Abomination.
So overall, how does the game hold up? Do you honestly have to ask me that question to get your answer? It's meh with a capital M-E-H! Exclamation point.
The gameplay copies God of War to such a degree it feels copy and pasted, and even then, everything it does to try and differentiate itself, it all either feels unfinished or just head-tilting as it actually forces the game to take a few steps back from its competition with how broken some things are, making it feel more like a chore to finish. And the plot is easily one of the most basic and worst stories I have ever seen, not helping with bland or idiotic characters. Point is guys, if you are going to make a plot and shove it in our faces, you have to put in effort, especially when you can't even skip some of these damn cutscenes. For as much as I hated the animated movie of this game, it was honestly an improvement since it fixed some of the problems I had. And for those that wish to argue that every story has been done before, that is no excuse. If it has been done, then a good writer and developer can find different ways to make it work. They have been doing this since the beginning of time. It's just different enough that you wouldn't normally make such a call on it. I just listed how the game could work better, and those are just basic ideas I thought of when writing this review.
Well, at least I'm actually done the game and I can hopefully move on to something fun, like, I don't know, Shadow Hearts or something. But anyway, I'm the smartest moron and... No way in hell is this game getting away with basically forcing me to apologize to DMC, the reboot. Hell no. So you know what I'm gonna do? Even though it's a digital freaking game I had to buy on Xbox Live for about $4, I'm going to burn it to the ground. How? With a little help from an enemy.
Stop it! Burn! Burn! Burn to the ground! Burn to the ground! Burn! Burn!
Next time on The Smartest Moron.
Rivals. They are friends, yet powerful foes. The desperate fighting program amongst high school students. A new legend is about to start.
May the manliest of all men come on down!
Nobody touches his precious Nanako, the sister complex kingpin of steel, Yu Narukami!
It's only natural.
Wage slave in the boonies by day, hero by night, Captain Resentiment, Yosuke Hanamura!
Everything that bores me has gotta go!
A spunky dragon with deadly legs, the carnivore who's discarded womanhood, Chie Satonaka!
You need to eat more meat!
Please escort me to the ring, my prince! The unconquerable Snow Black, Yukiko Amagi!
I'll finish you in one strike!
Blooming roses and bulging muscles, the blood-curdling beefcake emperor, Kanji Tatsumi!
Deep into realms of romance,
the body of a child, the brain of a genius, the 2000 IQ killjoy detective, Naoto Shirogane!
Is this an army of idiots?
Fight and survive towards the one throne waiting at the end! The P1 Grand Prix where fierce fights will be fought! The battle begins tonight!